Old age is often considered as the second childhood. And the reason for this is because in both of the phases of these lives, you need a lot of care. And this care is often less about something technical and more about companionship. Now, when we take care of our children and ensure they have companions, shouldn't we also ensure that our elderly have the same level of interactivity, care, and companionship? Good morning, afternoon, evening, and night to you who's watching me from whichever time zone you're watching. My name is Siddharth, and I am a team member of Plexi. Plexi is the project that we are developing, and my other team members in this are Anirban, Nitin Sai, and Nitish. Now that I've given you a pretense of what our project is going to focus on, let me dwell into the details of our problem statement, our solution statement, the technologies which we'll be using, how is Plexi different, and finally, how are we going to sustain this entire project. A problem statement arises from the lack of care that our elderly receive. With over 1 billion people over the age of 60, there is a need and necessity for somebody to constantly be in touch with the elderly population. We have limited number of doctors, we have limited number of students who can provide this care to elderly. Adding this to the constant migration of young people to cities and places with higher economic possibilities and growth is resulting in our elderly population being isolated alone in most of their situations. Although they have doctors they can contact and get medical aid from, they do not have somebody to accompany them to act as their fellow human. Plexi is focused on decreasing and removing this lack of companionship. And how it does this is in the way of interacting with the elderly and at the same time maintaining medical records of our elderly so that when the necessity arises, Plexi can contact doctors and ensure that right healthcare is provided. Now, the technologies that we plan on using to execute Plexi is Raspberry Pi, Arduino, Python, and various libraries such as OpenCV and also Azure SQL. Now, how is Plexi different from the other existing models is that we are trying to make sure Plexi is not only interacting on a limited level of healthcare, highs and buys and greetings to a more extended conversation by considering the past memories of the patient, by considering situations around the patient, and by also interacting with the family members. What this gives Plexi is an advantage of making sure conversations are not only static in nature but constantly changing and dynamic, and giving our elderly person the feeling of having a human beside them. How we plan on executing Plexi is as a product, mostly hardware, although if possible we would also like to have an online mode of it. Plexi is going to be a subscription based product where people can, after buying the model, subscribe to its services. The reason why we are focusing on a subscription based model is that the subscription period gives us a possibility to constantly upgrade our systems whenever we need it. What we hope to do with Plexi is to ensure that our elderly have a companion which is as smart as another human. Although there are existing models of companion robots, we understand that their scope is very limited. And that is the reason why we want to expand Plexi and ensure that it is so smart that it makes you feel like you're talking to a human beside you. Because unless we are able to engage, interact, and make real connections with our elderly, we will not be providing them with the care that they deserve. If you also think that our elderly deserve the sort of care that their second childhood should get, then I'm sure you